everyone. So I haven't went live in a hot minute. Let me know in chat if you can hear me and I have this set up right. Let's go back and say hello. Hi, Misty Dawn, Sheila D, Chaotic, Juan, Randall, Southern Girl, Tracy F, Smiley Miley. Okay, good. You can hear me loud and clear. Alicia, you can cuss me out all you want. I'm sorry. I didn't come on to cuss anybody out. Hi, Beth Dutton. So most people on here probably ain't gonna care at all. I've been pretty much off of the scene for like 2 weeks now anyways. Hey, Peachy Punch. But I wanted to come on here and do this final live and tell everyone from my own words why I'm having to leave and walk away from YouTube. That way, if I just disappear and everybody's like, oh, where did she go? The few that are going to miss me, might start asking people. And then you guys know how it goes. Rumors get started. People come up with their own reasons as to why that they think that I left. And then I can't get the peace that I'm looking for in my life right now because I'm getting hit up by people. So-and-so said this and so-and-so said that and blah, 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 So I figured, all right, I'm just going to come on here and I'm going to tell everybody what's going on and why I chose to leave. Lulu's Views, hey. Notorious, hello. April, hey. So what's the best way to start here? Because, there were a few things that led up to me making the decision. But ultimately, it's literally no one's fault. It's not because of anybody of why I'm choosing to walk away from everything. It's literally just my life. Okay. So a lot of you guys know that who I really am and that my name is not Alicia Turner. And you probably know like why I chose that name. I told several people why I chose to come on here underneath that name. And mainly it's just because I've already been through this kind of BS before. Coming into a truther community several years ago, because my guilty pleasure type thing, is like crazy conspiracy theories. And really that's just because like I studied psychology. Okay. If I didn't do the job that I'm doing now, I probably would have went to be like a type of therapist or something. I don't know. There was a few things that I was looking into doing, but it's always like fascinated me. And I watch like documentaries on, people that like snapped and netted up because of things. Hey, Sandy says. Hey, stage name. I'm not sure if I said hello to you yet. But yeah, like people's behavior, how people all have different personalities, how everyone could see the exact same thing go down and everyone have a different perspective of what happened. Like that is just fascinating to me. And so, in the past, I've joined some of these communities, true crime and truther community. Hey, Alicia. Hey, Fluzzy B. And for those who don't know, several years ago, I joined under my real name, my real account, and I just pretty much started asking questions about things that I was watching and what people thought about it. And then I started giving some of my opinions. And as soon as I started putting some of my opinions out there, people in that community that were, friends, I guess you can say, acquaintances, um, people from the same circle that, I saw online, um, they started to turn against me. And at one point in time, I was following along a story that was taking place at the time that had to do with the Satanic Temple. And so I started talking about, well, I did my own research first. I mean, I wasn't just running off at the mouth. I did a bunch of research, and I came across this ex-satanic priest that had left the cult, and was talking about some things that he saw go down. And, this is totally off subject, but I'm just kind of letting you guys know what happened. But like, he saw child sacrifices take place and stuff, and he had contacted media, and he could back up what he was saying. It kind of helped jumpstart the late 80s, early 90s satanic panic thing. And that's what they were talking about in this truther YouTube community that I was in. Was there any like truth behind the whole late 80s, early 90s satanic panic thing, or was old school conservative Christians just terrified of the new coming, like, gothic emo type stage that was happening with kids and stuff? So I started putting facts out there that I found doing my own research, thinking that, people will either accept it or maybe they won't accept it, but we're here to share our thoughts and opinions and be considerate of others. Oh no. Instead, I got attacked by this one group. Yes, I did used to have a blog stage name. I got attacked by this one group who turned out to actually be members of the temple. And they came at me hard, real life, and when they saw that it wasn't like bothering me so bad, because I would just, like, they'd come at me with a threat, or just like what trolls do, like, oh, you I'm sure you're part of this and you've done this, and or you work for the government, and just stupid stuff. I would just kind of laugh it off, I'd kind of joke it off, and I just wasn't giving them the hate back. Like, I wasn't doing the whole reverse bullying thing. So then they decided to take things real life, and they started messaging my children on their social medias, the clients that I worked for, family members. They started posting my address. They started up websites and social media with my kids' pictures and posting what my address and the school that my kids went to. And it got really ugly. So I had to hire an investigator to help me to find out, like, who was the main person that was kind of responsible of starting this attack against me, and find out what their name was, what their address was. And look at RGS talking about, no, the whole story. So anyways, I think you were even there for some of it, Randall, weren't you? Hey, Jimbo. I believe you were, because I've known Randall since 2014, and I think that he was still there when all this was going on. Hi, Christine, Mama T, anyone that's just came in.com. So anyways, it just got really ugly, and it got scary. So the investigator found out who it was. They were able to work along with police and stuff to, like, ping, and they were able also to get, with help from my lawyer, a subpoena to GoDaddy and to Twitter. and know that they had the right person. Hey, Curiosity. Um, so once that was done, we were able to sue. And because I never fought back, because I never like attacked them back or tried to come after them, and I never reverse bullied, I never posted their information, um, my side of the street was completely clean. And the only thing that they kind of had to use against me was my thoughts and opinions in a truthers community, that wasn't anything personal towards them. It was a discussion that we were all having about satanic panic, you know. So when it came time for court, it was pretty much open and shut. The leader of the group got 18 months in jail. So because of the real life attack stuff and because of coming for my children the way they did, it cost a pretty penny. So I do understand why a lot of you on here that feel like that you're stalked, harassed, doxxed, attacked, don't run out and get a defamation lawyer, because yes, mine was more, it wasn't just the defamation side. It was also criminal, what they were doing. So it made it a lot easier, but it still wasn't cheap. And I never did get paid back for what I put in, even though it was ordered. Never happened. And I just let it go. I thought 18 months in jail, everybody left me alone, it all stopped, fine. So when I decided to come on here and kind of, watch some true crime videos, and I was really interested in Summer Wells's case, and wanted to start speaking out in some of the chats that I was watching, I was like, oh, I don't want to repeat of history again. So I used an old friend's name, which, is perfectly okay with her. And came on here, I guess you could say undercover, But those who I spoke to outside of YouTube that I became friends with and had a relationship with, they all know who I am. And by now, I'm sure everybody does, because, somebody gets upset, someone turns on the group that you're following, part of the community that you're in, and then they go and run and, tell all of your stuff to other people. There's a lot of ugliness. Hey, Dragon Mama. Tian. Yes, it's extremely expensive stage name, but it was worth it because it gave me peace of mind. I felt like justice was served. Yeah, many people told who you are, my friend. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't very long before trust was broken. That's for sure. But that's the way it goes, because you're coming online and you're putting yourself in the midst of, 1,000 people that you don't know in real life, that you don't know personally. They've never met you. They don't know your background. They don't know your life story. And so there's no loyalty, really. And there's honestly a lack of common decency as well. And, everybody can get mad at me for saying that, but that's just how I feel. Hey, Miss Fletcher. So, anyways, I've already came on here once and told how I came into this side of the community, following Summer Wells' case, falling into Ernie, and believing, because I didn't do my work and everything happened so quickly, I believed that he was who he said that he was, and didn't have a reason at that point not to. Hey, Dark to Light. But it didn't take long. It didn't take long before I started seeing that things were adding up, before I witnessed with my own eyes that it was all a movie, like he's always said. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Chasing Justice. And that he didn't really want any drama to stop or any of the trolling to stop, because the drama and the trolling gave him content. It gave him something to come on every single day for. Good night, Mama T. And it gave him sympathy money, So if things got too quiet, then a fight would get instigated, and then the fight would break out and things would be said. And then he was able to go live and look what these people are saying about me. And then everybody's like, oh man, not again. Phooey. And here you go. Here's $5, $10, $20. Sorry about your bad day. Never looking to see how it was all instigated in the first place. But honestly, at that point in time, a lot of that didn't even really bother me. I'm like, okay, whatever, this is their thing. This is what they do. I was still concerned about the true crime side of things. And yes, the justice for Summer Moon, Utah Wells. And trying to get all, information that I could about the case, and just, listen to what the parents had to say, the people that were talking to the parents, things like that. And, sorry guys, I got distracted. I heard the baby. But anyways, I was trying to follow all of that. And I thought that despite all this, entertainment part of things that was going on, that he really was concerned about children and a part of all of these, anti-human trafficking groups and things like that. But long story short, wasn't true. I figured it out. I left. Jimbo actually helped me, hurry that along by answering a lot of my questions, giving me background information, just kind of opening my eyes to it all. So, it is what it is. I have no hate for Ernie. I wish him well. I hope he gets, things in his life taken care of. I don't really have hate in my heart for anyone. And I don't believe that we're really supposed to. And you guys all know my faith. And you know that, I'm a Bible-believing Baptist Christian. And so I'm far from Christ-like, but I try. And I know we're supposed to forgive to be forgiven. I know we're not supposed to hate. We can hate sin, but not the sinner. And I know we're going to get to be disappointed by man. That it's just because no one is perfect. Not one of us. We all fall. Our emotions run us a lot of times, and we let our emotions get the best of us. And sometimes we say things we wish we could take back, and that's really, what's the right word to say? A lot of sin that, the average person commits usually happens because they allow their emotions to get the best of them. So I try to not let that happen. When I see that something is riling me up to the point where it is starting to anger me, it is starting to make me have negative thoughts, negative feelings, it's dampening my spirit, I start to feel like, okay, there's just too much dark in this or whatever, then I like to just hightail out, I'm just like, okay, this isn't for me. I'm out. I don't try to cause a big scene. I don't, scream and yell and throw a fit and say, you hurt my feelings and you hurt my feelings and blah, 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 blah. It's pointless. I just say, like I said, nope, this is no longer for me. And I walk away from it. Yes, YouTube can be very bad for the soul. Before everything got so crazy, when I first went over to the stand and I went over to Jimbo's, he welcomed me with open arms, and that was great. I appreciated that. Jimbo wasn't a true crime channel. He wasn't a conspiracy theory type channel. He wasn't the kind of channel that I would normally watch. I'm like 41 going on 81 because I watch a lot of documentaries, and I watch like Greg Gutfeld show on Fox. I used to watch Tucker Carlson. I try to keep up a little bit with that kind of stuff. And then I watch like a lot of prophecy channels too, but not like the like far out there crazy prophecy stuff. I try to stick to like biblical facts and then what's going on in the world today. So there's a few channels like that I follow that are really cool. So yeah, I'm an old person. So, his channel was like nothing that I normally watched or would have anything to do with. But I did kind of instantly get hooked into that whole psychological side of things, of what's going on here. You've got this guy on here who's pretending to be all these things that he's not, pretending to save all these children, provoking these fights. You've got these trolls over here that are like eating that up, because it gives trolls something to troll, someone to troll, So they're all eating it up, and then he's playing off of that, and then they're playing off of it. And I was like, wow, this is a little bit intriguing, dare I say, even at times entertaining to see like how people can put on this show and they can act out, this role. And then you have all these other people over here that are like throwing the rotten tomatoes at him, and then the other people that are like cheering for him. And then the other people that are just like completely believing everything that is being said. Hey, Jody. Hey, Night Stalker. I'm sorry, guys, if anybody comes in and I miss you. I'm like in my thoughts. I'm pretty much just talking out loud. And unfortunately, you guys are listening. So yeah, that was like crazy to me. You were friends. You came to my home. YouTube sucks. Yeah, it really does, Jimbo. So, I mean, yeah, that was kind of crazy to sit back and watch. And it sucked me in, because I was all like, wow, why is this group of people over here even and giving this dude a time of day, and then why are these other people over here completely buying into it and believing everything, when you can watch 3 or 4 lives and see all the contradiction and things not coming to fruition that said it's going to come. Like, there's so many things that makes it so obvious, and yet they're just going along with it all, So I wanted to kind of see how that was going to unfold, Then I seen Jimbo over here, who was doing the exposing. Okay. At that time, he's doing the exposing, and saying, really, guys, you're going to believe this. He's already done this and blah, blah, blah. And, he's showing all of these things. And I wanted to see it all, because now I wanted to see, like, who is this guy? You know, um, is he just a career scammer? Is there a mental illness here? Is he just trolling? You know, maybe he's a troll himself. Um, is this all a big LARP? You know, then it kind of becomes a true crime investigation for someone like me. You know, so the psychological side of it, the true crime investigating side of me, and the conspiracy side of me all kind of came together on trying to figure out what the heck is going on this side of YouTube, right? If you guys can understand what I'm saying. So yeah, it became like a soap opera, like a, you know, an interesting little soap opera thing. But I didn't take everything so seriously like some people did. Alicia, this all, oops, sounds like what most of us dealt with so far, at least me. Yeah. I'm glad I took a break and evaluated what was best for me. So yeah, I mean, I didn't take everything as seriously as I saw a lot of people taking things. I looked at it all as, I don't know what is going on here, but it's kind of interesting to watch and find out, you know. But Jimbo came off and comes off to me as a decent, you know, country guy who reminds me of uncles and stuff that I had. At some points and times, he kind of even reminds me of my dad, because he's so much older than me. But you know, he kind of lives that life like a lot of the people that I grew up with. You know, been with the same woman all these years, a daddy. His kids love him, you know. And then I loved my coach when I was in school. And then my boys, you know, they all love wrestling. So for the past 19 years of my life, I've had to watch wrestling all the time with my boys. So, you know, his past of being a wrestler and stuff like that was cool. And upon becoming friends with him and talking with him and meeting him, you know, we shared a lot of the same beliefs. Not everything. We have different beliefs in some things, and that's perfectly fine. I'm a very open-minded person, and I love to see everybody's perspectives on things and hear how everyone feels and what they have to say and what their thoughts are. You know, going back to what I said earlier, like, it fascinates me how everyone can watch the same event happen and everyone have a different perspective, everyone have a different opinion. And when you hear everybody talk, you know, you might see things in their eyes that you didn't see yourself and be like, wow, I didn't notice that, you know. And so I find that fascinating. And so yeah, in a lot of ways, I used to call it Jimbo my soul brother, because there was just a lot of things that we had in common. And I had a lot of respect for him, and I thought he was doing a great thing, avoiding people from being scammed, avoiding people from being manipulated and used. I mean, that's awesome, you know, that he was taking the time out to try and do that. So yeah, we became friends, and I started talking to a lot of the subs, and I became friends with some of the subs. And I started, you know, trying to get to know people a little bit and stuff, you know, some. Now, just like anywhere you go, there's some people that you kind of relate to, there's some people that you're drawn to, and then there's others where you're like, yeah, no, not my type of person, not my cup of tea. So instead of, bashing them or turning on them or hating on them or anything like that, I just ignore those type of people. I'll be polite. They say hi to me, I say hi to them. So I wish that everybody could be that way, but it's not a perfect world. But anyways, I found out about E Squared and her cancer, and Ocean Lover and her cancer, and people losing husbands, people whose children had passed away. And when you've been through a whole lot yourself, and then you hear about others people's problems and your heart goes out to them, some bonding takes place. You sympathize with people, you pray for people. We created the prayer list, where people could come and say this and that's going on in our lives. Please keep us in your thoughts and prayers. And it wasn't just put praying hands in the chat. No, it was actually a lot of us getting down on our knees, talking to God and praying for these people, and really wanting to see positive things happen in their life, really caring. And we came up with, hi, that girl 77. Hi, Kimberly F. Hey, Gypsy. Okay, so then we came up with the idea, I think it was me, Jimmo, and Glamorous Life, I believe, of the Stands Helping Hands, which we, use everyone's help to come up with a name for it and stuff. And that was all to, hey, Never Silent, that was all there so we could help people in need. Curiosity, we also added people to our prayer groups at churches. Yes, we did. Our subs, our members that came in, and I say our because at the time with the Stand, it wasn't as big as it has become now with as many people watching from so many different channels. It was more like tight knit, and it did all feel like our. Now maybe it still does to you guys right now, but I've told Jimbo, to me it doesn't have that same feeling anymore, like it once had. And maybe it's just because there's so many new faces, I don't know. But yes, we did get backlash on that, but we came together because we wanted to help our subs and people in need, and not the same people over and over again, not the people whose life situation was their own doing and they weren't doing anything to try to change it. Because at first we were just like, okay, we've got this money, we've put it in the pot. When people come to us and asking for it, we're gonna give it to them. And then that kind of bit us in the butt because it was like the same people coming back over and over again and needing. Okay, Sarah. A hand up is different than a handout. Right, Lulu. So, yeah, we did our best to help us, but we had to like help people, but we had to, tweak it a bit here and there so we weren't getting used, and the people who were donating out or playing a game or, however it was that we raised the funds for it were, had the funds there to help them when they went through a dire situation, instead of the resources being drained by, people who needed money every day for something. So I thought that was great because I love helping people. The Bible tells us that we're to be charitable, that we're to be giving, that God loves a cheerful giver, So I've always liked to help people any way that I possibly can. So I love doing that. I love doing the prayer list because to me, prayer is very powerful. And money is not always the answer to everyone's problems, but I feel like God is. And if we give things to Him and trust on Him and believe on Him that He can handle it, that a lot of times that He will, you know. It might not always be the exact answer that people want. It might not work out exactly how they want it to, but it always does according to His will, and there's a reason and a purpose for that. I truly believe that. Um, Kimberly, I've said my trust level took a major hit since watching YouTube shenanigans. Right? Right? Um, so, anyways, I loved being a part of that. I really did. I love the people that I've met. I brought my clients in, some of them, not all of them, but some of them, to be a part of everything and, make friends, promote, bring content to the channel that wasn't drama, that wasn't fighting. Chaotic said, I just want to say thank you, Alicia. I've said it before, but you helped me make me grow to a better, more compassionate and patient person. Aw, Chaotic, I love you. Mama Mia came in. Yeah, I do that too as well, especially around holidays. In my local area, there's tons of different things that we get involved in, things that we do. One of my favorite things to do is around Easter when we make Easter baskets. And then we go around to some areas where, clearly they're living in poverty. And we surprise kids with baskets. That's really fun. So, yeah. Like I said, always trying to come up with ideas and ways. Nothing brings me more joy than putting a smile on a face, especially a child or a parent who's been busting their balls to try to do the best that they can for a kid, and just needs a little bit of help, and then seeing how appreciative they are. On YouTube, there's a lot of people that are, I need. And then you give, and it's like, cool, thanks. And then a few days later, it's, I need. It's a lot different than, what I'm talking about when we show up at a door and we come with 3 or 4 Easter baskets and a mother falls down on her knees with tears running down her face. And she's like, oh my gosh, thank you. And you see that appreciation, like, I don't know, there's something magical about that. Okay, let me catch up here. Is great. Nicolina, SG traders, and many others harassed us all over that. They still do. It's miserable trying to help people. Nicolina, 777, hey girl. Beth Dutton, for the record, I'm not mad at a single person on here except a particular group that's playing dumb games with each other and dragging friends and subs in their mind games. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It became what was set out to be helping people, making people feel important, praying for people, talking people and mentoring people through a difficult time in their life. And you guys know from the beginning, when I got involved in things, I knew there was drama. I knew there was some trolling and stuff that went on and stuff. So I did my best to just not be a part of it. If I was alive whenever it started, I'd see my way out, come back when things settled down and we got back to the fun stuff, playing the games, doing the trivia, raising funds to help somebody in need, things like that. But somewhere, and I feel like, and this is, like I said, this is my opinion, this is my thoughts, this is my feelings. Is it 100% true? Might not be. Am I completely correct? I might not be. Everyone might not see the same way that I see things, but I feel like somewhere along the way in the last few months, all of that got lost. And maybe not, completely lost. I'm not saying that once in a while people weren't like, you know what, screw it. No hate talk today, nothing. Let's just play some games and have fun, you know. Or like the thing with Mary and her daughter happened, and everybody pitching in to help her and stuff. Yes, there was still, good things that were happening. But if at an end of the month, I took out a scale and I put a scale on a table and I weighed all the positivity, the love, the sending out the light, the helping, all of that on the same, on a scale with all of the mean talking, the hate, the drama, the cutting down, the name calling, all of that stuff. Which one, is going to tip first? There was definitely way more negativity and darkness than there was light. And it started getting to a point where it's kind of hard to avoid the drama anymore because it's all day, every day in your face. It went all downwards on Christmas Day, in my opinion, Celine said. I don't remember what happened on Christmas Day or if I was even around watching anything then. So yeah, I started noticing that stuff was going on. Now, there's only a handful of people that I really talk to outside of YouTube. All right, I rambled enough. I'm going to get down to the nitty gritty here. I don't see a comment by Nick that was blocked either. I don't know. But anyways, I was friends with a handful of people off of YouTube. And those were outside of Jimbo. I believe that Jimbo might be the only like male friend that I talk to on a regular basis. Most everyone else was girls, and we talked about personal lives, we talked about things on YouTube, we talked about true crime cases, and I grew a love for these ladies. Two of the women, or actually three of the women, really, I got to meet in real life, and that was awesome. But yeah, I mean, I think even out of, the handful of people I'm talking about, there was still maybe only just a couple that I talked to on a daily basis. So we didn't always agree with things, right? Sometimes they come to me with their thoughts, their opinions of what's going on. And, I'm all like, well, I don't know. Hold on. Let me see this. It didn't seem bad to me, but not my channel. Alicia has helped me mini grow on here and try to understand the meaning of what matters in life and help channels change direction. Some have listened and tried to do better. Thanks, SG. Y'all, all she said was, is this a stang? I don't think it was disrespectful, so I was just asking. Oh, that's kind of funny, actually. E squared's here. Woohoo! Listen before speaking. I'm sad to read your title. Just coming in. We'll go back later. But before you go, just as I've always told you, Alicia, you are a bright light of God's love and positivity. Aw, thank you. Always the sweetest person on YouTube. Oh, thank you, Lulu. I'm just sitting here listening to a voice of reason. Kimberly, I hope I'm not coming off on as all over the place, but it's like I've been sitting on a lot of this for a couple of months. Um, so I think my brain is like overloaded with way too many thoughts about it all. And there's so much that's happened. You know, I'm trying to kind of summarize it all and just let you know from my side of things what happened and why I'm making the decision that I'm making. Um, and it's really hard to do. And I also don't want to hurt anyone's feelings or step on anybody's toes or, you know, we just need more Alicia on here. Maybe YouTube gone crazy because Alicia wasn't doing lives. I know you, real life. We need you, Alicia. I love you. Well, I just don't have the time. I mean, that's another thing that I'm going to get to. Alicia, your precious little girl looks so happy in your pics. And thank you, Bex. That's one thing I'm going to be talking about here in just a minute. And yes, Ricky, #1. People do want to control people. I see that a lot. And I don't think, like some people think, that it comes from like a cult mentality or, that's a big one that I hear from a lot of people. I think that it comes out of a fear of also not knowing who to trust, who's your real friend, who's backstabbing you, who's telling you the truth, who's talking behind your back. So I think that people feel like, all right, we're going to have our little community over here, and the people who are our friends and stand beside our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, let's hang out over here, because that's how we're safe, right? As soon as you start wandering and going off to these other channels and hearing their side of things, you might get persuaded. You might start to believe some of the things that are being said over here. And so that paranoia streaks, comes in. And then in reality, sometimes that has happened. People kind of step away for a little bit. They go over, they check out what, the opposing viewers are saying, and they might be persuaded by what's said. And then questions arise and, trouble starts. When everybody stays in a tight-knit little group, and they're not out listening to what all these other people have to say, then those troubles don't arrive. And yeah, it's safer. You feel like you can trust those people more. Is that necessarily right? No, not at all. You should want people to be open minded. You should want people to hear all sides of an argument and then make a decision based off of what they thought was fact, what they saw to be truth. And once again, I revert back to my Christianity. Okay. I was raised an independent Baptist. As I got older, I started thinking to myself, maybe I only believe what I believe because I've made to go to church 3 times a week. And I was indoctrinated and brainwashed. So I started thinking, wow, that's the last thing that I want. Let me step away for a little bit and go on a journey and, look at all these other religions. Now, do you think that God was up there looking down at me going, oh no, she's strayed. She's out looking to see, what other people believe and what other options there are out there. And, and he's up there telling all the angels, we've lost her. Get her, chase her down, punish her. No, not at all. He only wants people to love him because they chose to love him. Believe in him because they chose to believe in him. Because of all the other different options there are out there, they believe the one they chose is the best, right? Because that's real true. He doesn't want robots. He wants your utmost love and respect, right? Because he's deserved it. Because he gave you free will. So anyone who really has confidence in themselves, speaks the truth, tries to be the best that they can be, okay, despite all their adversaries, despite all the opposing views out there, will continue to stand in who they are as a person, complete, secure in who they are, and be perfectly okay with letting their friends roam and hear opposing views and other thoughts and opinions, and have enough faith in them and trust in them that they will, at the end of the day, weigh the good, the bad, the ugly, and choose you as a person that they want to remain loyal to, who they want to believe overall. And if they do see any fault in you, mistakes that you made, or whatever, be able to forgive those things and still stand by you because you're an authentic person, right? And if they don't, if they choose to, run off, then those people, you didn't really need them in the first place. If you are being a truthful, authentic, honorable, respectful person. Okay? If you are not being that type of person, and you're shady, and you're two-faced, and you're up to no good, and you're starting drama, and then you go on and you just play the victim. Poor me, poor me, poor me. They did this to me. They did this to me. They did this to me. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? If that's the kind of person that you are, then yes, you're going to get paranoid and you're going to freak out whenever your flock starts to spread out a little bit because, oh my God, they might learn the truth. Can't let that happen. Reel them back in or bash the crap out of them. Either way, they're going to go down before I go down. It disgusts me. If you see that you're one of those type of people, stop it. Get some help. I don't know how many times in the past when I was helping Ernie that I knew he was, flat out telling a story about something. And people got hurt because of that. And I would say, stop it with the cover-up crap. Stop it with the sting operation crap. Okay? Just come out and say, I'm sorry. I lied. I made it up. It was part of the movie. Just a storyline. It was entertaining though. Sometimes I do that. Say no to staying. I'm so sorry, guys, that I'm missing all of these comments. Like I said, I'm just trying to get these thoughts out so this doesn't take 5 hours. I wanted to try my best to keep this under an hour, but I'm already at 56 minutes, so I suck. But anyways, back to what I was saying. So I was friends with these girls. One of them gets upset. Okay. The thing that she gets upset over really has nothing to do with me. Um, but I try to be a supportive friend. Okay. Hear her out. Try to see if there's anything there that's relatable. Maybe some thoughts and feelings that she's had that I might have at one point in time had as well too. Excuse me. Um, Things that just really don't make any sense to me. I ask questions. Well, explain to me how you see it this way. Where did you get this from? Blah blah blah. Who's raging? Is there somebody in here raging? What am I missing? I'm not wanting things to get out of control here. I don't know. Um, so anyways, different in opinion when it came down to how things were seen. Okay. Um, the person was outspoken about it to not just me, but to others. And because there seems to be a huge issue on here of people talking to who they consider a friend and not sharing that with other people, okay? It all comes back around, right? And now people are infuriated that this friend of mine had an opinion, all right? And now she's a bad person, okay? And I'm not saying everybody. Oh my god, it was a very small group of people, very small. Okay? But still, this very small group of people who were all ticked off and mad at my friend for her thoughts and her feelings and her opinions, um, and being outspoken about them, okay, starts talking trash about my friend. Right? Well, I'm not going to stay around a place where that's happening. Okay? I'm just not going to do it. It kind of opened my eyes at that point that, okay, wow, there's a lot of that going on, and some of these other people might not be my friends. I might not even know who they are, but a lot of that's going around, right? Like, oh my God, did you see what Beth Dutton said the other day? Oh, did you see what E Squared said the other day? And did you see what Heather said on so and so's channel? I wonder what they're up to. Blah blah blah. Oh, I wonder if they're working for the other side, or if they're part of this or they're part of that, and all that paranoia that I've been talking about earlier. And at that point in time, I was just like, whoa, what happened to that tight knit community that I was talking about, that helped each other out, that made each other laugh, that played games, that cared about people, what they were going through, to, praying for them or trying a way to fix them out of their situation, are some of the things that I've told people about my personal life of what I'm going through been spread around to 50 other people, and I felt like I can't even talk to people anymore. Things get so twisted. I could say, I went to the doctor today waiting for results. And by the end of the day, I have someone texting me going, oh my God, you have cancer? Are you okay? You get what I'm saying? So it's just insane. I decided that I wanted to kind of just take a step back, not surround myself with so many people, especially a bunch that I don't even know. And I decided to leave the Discord, everyone's Discord, not just the stand. I completely got rid of Discord, deleted it off my phone. All right. Because I thought, and I said this on Gypsy's channel when I went on there one time, that I just want to live, kind of oblivious to all that's going on behind the scenes, turn on a live whenever I have the free time and enjoy the show. Hopefully, if it's not all, y'all stop with the fighting with each other, please. Just listen to what I have to say. If you don't care what I have to say, because, whatever reason, what I have to say isn't important to you, then please just move on. All right? Because I just wanted to get this off of my chest. And maybe everybody doesn't agree, and that's fine. But please don't come in here and use my chat as a means to get at each other, to fight with each other, poke at each other. You got your own channels for all of that, Let's try to, much as possible, make this a drama-free zone. All right? This is not how I want to go out. It's making everybody start fighting with each other. Start putting people in timeouts and corners and stuff. Okay. I'm going to try to finish up, guys. I'm sorry. I know at times I'm rambling. So, yeah, I left all the Discords, took a step back, thought, okay, maybe I can breathe a little easier. Then some of those friends that I stood up for, that I stood beside, right? Started doing this complete opposite of what I asked them to do, causing more drama, starting more fights to break out and happen, making themselves a target. And then when I wasn't for that, because that's totally what I'm against, how many times do I have to say, I don't like all the drama fighting stuff, right? I don't want to be a part of the he said, she said bull crap. I just don't. Life comes with a lot of negativity all on its own, and the world around us is just crumbling. I mean, children missing, families being murdered, people shooting sprees everywhere, economy sucks. I could go on and on. Like, it's not all sunshine and rainbows in the real world right now, as it is. So YouTube used to be a place where I could go and escape a lot of that stuff, spread some positivity, spread some love, have a little fun. It's all been ruined. And a lot of the people who run the channels are just as responsible for that as all of these troll subs that go around starting crap, because they allow it to happen. They let it come in. They can't ignore it. They have talk about the same thing that happened for a week or two straight. I don't know if it's just because people are super easily offended, or because, and I have to ask, and I hope I don't tick off a whole lot of people by asking, but this is a thought that I have had. Okay. And maybe somebody has an answer in here for me that I haven't thought of before. Okay. But if the drama stopped, okay, if all of a sudden somebody on here shined a light upon everybody and everybody looked at themselves in the mirror and said, holy crap, I suck at times, I'm going to change, let's all hold hands and sing kumbaya from now on, okay, and all drama stopped, what would a lot of these channels talk about on a nightly basis, sometimes a couple of times a day? What if they have for content 5-6 days a week? You know, what can they bring to the table? And if they did find something, rather it be, you know, a cause that they stand behind, something they're going to raise awareness for, or a true crime thing, or whatever it is that they decide that they're going to do, sports casting. I'm just thinking up, you know, like other channels that I know, commentary channels, things like that, okay? That's going to bring in as much sympathy money as the drama does. Right? Because there's a lot of us on here who do try to stay away from the drama stuff completely. And they do try to bring forth content to educate, to raise awareness, sometimes just to entertain. I mean, I did a series on narcissism, psychopaths, sociopaths. I heard a lot of people say that it was very helpful. I got 2 tiny little donations, and I'm not complaining. I'm making a point. I never asked any of you guys for your money. I do appreciate everybody who helped me when I first got Bella with getting things off of her wish list. I mean, you guys made things so much easier on me with helping me with baby stuff. And I totally love you guys for it and appreciate it. Jimbo, right off the bat, gave me $100 to help me to get her a pack and play so she had a place to sleep before we got a crib. Rip. Alicia, I think if I started spending as much time reading my Bible as I have been watching all the nonsense on YouTube, I would definitely be more blessed, peaceful person. Amen to that. Amen. So, you know, I'm forever grateful to Jimbo for being there for me when I needed him for that. And I tried to do the exact same thing for him. He fell on a hard spot. I did the auction for him to help him and the family out. It was fun. Loved doing it. Right? Like I said, that's what I came here for. And he repaid back as soon as I needed it with the baby. You know, but I was accused that because, you know, he helped me, that I refused to come out and tear him down and tell the truth about him and show who he really is. Not true. I was also accused by a couple of people of being his script writer and working with Jimbo and Ernie and Nicolina and everybody and writing this whole entire storyline that takes place on here because I'm a publicist. I work with celebrities. I work with the entertainment industry. So therefore, I must be the one that's behind all of this drama, this whole story that goes down. Once again, that's just hilarious because I'm completely against it all. And Jackie, yeah, sometimes true crime is very depressing. I mean, a lot of times it's very depressing, but there's also something about it that is just fascinating on like what makes people do such crazy things. Like, from a Christian standpoint, I wonder, like, are they possessed? How did they get possessed? You know, how could someone go, like Chris Watts, from being this perfect husband who supported his wife all the way and great daddy to his kids, to meeting a woman who was a witch and, you know, into witchcraft and everything, and then he slaughters his whole entire family? You know, things like that. That's the part about it that has me hooked and, you know, trying to figure out. I probably never will till the day I die. So anyways, not getting off track on it. It just got to be where it was no fun for me anymore. And I started backing away. I just saw too much ugly coming from all different directions. And it wasn't fun for me anymore. That's just the truth to it. And right, Sandy says. So I'm like, okay, well, I left out of all the discords, not really talking to people in the day. You know, a lot of people kind of accepted me kind of walking away. I'm not as into things anymore, as part of things anymore. So people's not really talking to me about things as much. And that's good. I started being able to take on a couple of more like jobs and stuff. And I started praying about it a lot at night. Because I have insomnia. So sometimes I just lay there and my mind just goes crazy and I can't, you know, shut it up. So I just pray. And I started, you know, asking the Lord, like, have I already did my part in everything on here? Like, I feel almost like people don't care about a lot of things that I have to say. And I felt that way, especially ever since my niece was kidnapped and almost sold, you know, to human traffickers. And I got on here and told her story. And, you know, I think what, 20 something people showed up. So I don't know. I guess I feel like I just never fit in completely with everybody, you know? So that's what I was praying about. And then just the crap hit the fan, right? My husband had 2 broken screws in his back. All right, I'm wrapping it up, guys. My husband had 2 broken screws in his back, and he was in a lot of pain. It came from him having his second back surgery. Okay, he had a second back surgery. It was still at the end of COVID, like the very end of all the stuff with COVID, and they kind of did the surgery immediately to fit him in before, because they were afraid that if they didn't, they wouldn't be allowed to do those surgeries at all unless it was an emergency surgery, you know? So they tried to fit him in quickly, brought him in. They did his open back surgery. And usually when you have a back surgery like that, thank you, Fluffy, you stay a couple of days in the hospital. That way the glue that they put, you know, around all of your hardware hardens really good. And, you know, everything just kind of sets in place and you get to heal up a little bit. Swelling kind of goes down, all of that before you're up and moving around. And I don't know about that, Southern girl. But anyways, so instead they rush him in to do the surgery. As soon as he wakes up, I mean, he's not even completely foggy from the anesthesia before they're calling me in and saying, all right, he's awake, come get him. And I have to dress him, and he's like I said, still loopy, still out of it. The nurse helps me put him into a wheelchair. He's in tons of pain, you know, and we're wheeling him out of the hospital into the car. They did give him like a shot of something right before we left. Um, I get him into the car. I'm trying to drive as carefully as I can. Then we get home, and unfortunately, our bedroom is upstairs. So my sons are helping me. We're all walking him up the stairs so he's not really having to put any weight down, and getting him into the bed where he's now going to remain for the next 6 weeks. He is in so much pain from all of just overdoing it after you just come out of a major surgery that he breaks out in hives all over his body. Okay. It was so nasty. Hives everywhere. Anyways, then he goes into seizing because, he has PNES seizures, pseudo seizures, which is caused from post-traumatic stress disorder from all the abuse that he went through when he was younger. So it's non-epileptic seizures, right? An epileptic seizure usually will be rough for maybe a minute. When he has seizures, he seizes hard, like flopping all over the place, shaking vigorously for 20 minutes at a time. Thank you, Royal Girl. Hi, Shannon. So anyways, like I said, all those types of seizures are usually brought on by night terrors of when he's dreaming about the abuse that he went through his whole entire childhood, because he had a horrible stepfather that just abused him mentally, physically, verbally, sexually, every way possible until he was 16 years old. So he has flashbacks, and he has night terrors, even now as an adult. And after being put through a surgery like that, and then just being thrown right out of the hospital and all of that pain, we got home, he breaks out into the hives, and he starts like that with his mouth, which means that all the saliva has pretty much drained out of his mouth and he's going to seize soon. So I try my best to get him in a position with pillows all around him and everything on the bed and stuff, and keep him stabilized as much as possible. But it was a very hard, very rough seizure. And he falls off to sleep afterwards, Long story short, the 6 weeks go by. He starts getting where he can get up and move around about the third week. He's being very careful not to lift anything, blah, blah, blah. He goes in for his checkup about 8 weeks in, because it took him a couple weeks after he hit his 6 weeks before he could get at his appointment. He goes, it's been about 8 weeks into surgery, and they tell him 2 of his screws broken in his back. We knew right away, 2 screws broken in his back because of that seizure. That he had that. So, okay, a year goes by that they don't want to go right back in and fix it. They're kind of hoping that maybe it will adjust itself and, kind of fix itself in a way, heal up around it to where it will close it up to where those screws won't really matter, is what they're hoping for. Well, about a month ago now, he has another seizure, completely breaks back open those 2 screws and breaks a third one. So now when he moves, like say he's sitting down in a chair, when he moves back and forth, his back goes like a rocking chair. He is in so much pain. Okay. If he breathes in hard, if he bends over, like certain things that he does, it just sends like stabbing pains all through his body. So they want to give him another surgery. And we were scheduled to do that right now, the first of the month. And that was another reason why I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to leave, put all this drama behind, and I'm going to take care of my husband and my children and Bella, my household. I'm going to have to pick up more work again now to make up for the time that my husband is out. I'm going to have my hands full. So he was scheduled to do it now, but probably about 5 days ago or so, we started noticing that Bella, the foster baby, was spacing out for long periods of time. And when she would do that, her left eye would wander completely to the side. And we're like, what the crap is happening? You know? Um, and then it started happening like twice a day, you know? So I get a hold of her bio mom, and she's like, oh yeah, she's always done that. I'm like, what? You never told me, never told DCF. Like, that's something you should have said. So she's like, yeah, she gets in times where she does it for a while and then it'll go away. She's like, oh, I thought maybe it was just gone. So anyways, I call the caseworkers. I tell them, yeah, they never knew. They were never told. So they say, go ahead and make her an appointment and take her in to be seen. So I do. I take her in to be seen, and which I needed to do anyways, because Saturday, I think it was, she started waking up, pulling on her ear, and her nose was a little stuffy. And I'm like, yeah, I'm afraid she's getting an ear infection. So I took her to the doctor Monday. She had sinus infection and the beginning stages of an ear infection. I then told them about the thing that was happening with her freezing up and her eye wandering and all of that. And they said it sounds like absent seizures. They asked me if her mother had a history of seizures. I said yes. She told me that she did. And then she also told me that Bella has had these off and on since she was born. And they're like, oh my goodness. I'm like, exactly. So they say, we're going to have to set you up with a neurologist and an ophthalmologist or something that has to do with Opta. And see what can be done, right? Well, I do know from her going to Nemours, because, you know, she's 14 months old and she's still not walking. But when we got her at 9 months old, she couldn't even sit up. She was so malnutrition. She was so weak. You know, you guys know the back of her head was completely flat. She had a lot of issues. So we had to do therapy with her. Lots and lots of therapy. And now she stands up on her own, and she will take some steps, and she cruises. Like, she'll get up on the, stand up on the couch or the bed and walk all around it and everything, but she just won't stand up and take off on her own to actually like walk yet. But we found out through the physical therapy and through taking her to Nemours that she had left side paralysis. Alicia, can you give link just about this, please? And these are the people and families who are getting doxxed by deranged a-holes. Or we can talk more again off, exactly like your daughter. Well, I found out, Southern Girl, because I called earlier today. I sent over that, what was it called? Exotropia thing. And I emailed the doctor, because they have that now through the portal, and asked if she thinks that it could possibly be that, because nothing was said Monday. And then got an answer back at like 4. And she says, oh, definitely. And I definitely believe it's caused by the left side paralysis that she has in her body. So, in her early stages, when we first took her in, she couldn't move her left leg at all. All right. Which is why she had to have a lot of therapy. She couldn't put any weight on it and everything, but now she can, like I said, she can stand on it. She crawls great. She can stand up and dance if you're holding her. She's building up her strength. What caused the paralysis? They diagnosed as being kept in a small space, a space that was way too small for her when she was younger. Um, Probably, which, of course, mom won't say what the truth is on it, but when she was 22 pounds at 9 months, still not sitting up, and brought to us in a tiny infant car seat. So yeah, there you go. But that's what they think. They think it was due to neglect and being kept in a small space, laid down all the time, which is why the back of her head was the way that it was all the time. Okay. And so she didn't get to develop. She didn't get to grow like she needed to. Plus, not being fed. I mean, like I said, 9 months, and she couldn't eat off a spoon. She didn't know how to swallow a solid. So it's been a struggle. There's visitations, there's court dates, there's taking her to parenting classes with her mom. There's the guardian ad litem meetings. Every few days it's something. Then on top of that, there's nemours, there's physical therapy. I'm going to get off here, SG. I'm wrapping this up, and then I'm going to get off because I'm exhausted and I have to get her to bed in just a few minutes. But yeah, there's always something. And now we rescheduled my husband's surgery so we can get her to the neurologist immediately for CAT scan, for MRI, to make sure that this is being caused by the paralysis issue that we're already working on, and not something like possibly her having a stroke when she was little, or something neurological going on, like something going on in her brain that needs to be fixed. I don't know. I'm scared. I'm worried for her. She's so adorable. For all of those that have seen her, she is so adorable. And to think that she might have to live her whole life with her eye being in that sort of way because it was neglected and not taken care of early would be heartbreaking. So I want to get her in and see what we can do to fix that ASAP. So yeah, we're going to deal with that first, one step at a time. And then my husband will have his surgery. And then it's going to be crazy because I still have to do all those things that I just mentioned for Bella 3-4 times a week. I have 3 sons and another daughter. School's out now for the summer. So, they have camps and sleepovers and sports, and, I'm running around all the time. And then on top of it all, I'll be taking care of my husband for another 6 weeks as he heals, and trying to work my 2 jobs. So that is the real reason why I'm having to say goodbye. Maybe not forever, but definitely for a while, because I can't add more drama to my life. I have asked respectfully for several people, to several people personally, don't send me stuff off of YouTube. Don't tell me what so-and-so is saying about so-and-so. Don't tell me that this person brought up my name and is smearing me. Like, I don't care. I care about what I'm going through in my life right now, from my day to day, my reality, not this virtual reality thing. And it's not that I don't care about what my friends are going through. Like, Sarah, that. I love you. I care about you. Gemma knows I care about him. Constance knows I care about her. I mean, I can sit here and I can name off a lot of people. You guys know I do. But when things got too much for me, where I needed some peace. I needed some time because the drama was just getting too much. There was too much negativity. There was too much darkness, and it was affecting me spiritually and emotionally. I walked away. I don't care who feels like they won. I don't care who is over there going, woohoo, she's leaving, she's gone. You know, another one down. I don't care. Right? And if I can do that, surely some of you guys can, that are just getting overly weighed down and, you know, are about to explode because you can't take it anymore and it's affecting you in your day to day and affecting your sleep and, you know, all of that. You don't have to be a part. You don't have to do it. You know, there's other hobbies, there's other communities. I mean, I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. Alicia, I hope you see my above message. I understood about the fighting stuff and negativity. No, I didn't. Sorry. I go back. Where are you? Please stay in touch with me about the seizure stuff. If it changes, develops into other types, I will help you get through it if I can. I also still want to help your husband with the med thing too. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, I told him what you said about that, about the nose spray stuff, the brand that you were talking about that stops the seizure right away. He definitely wants to see if his doctor will prescribe him some of that instead of the shots. And that spray he has now, it doesn't really work. And he thinks it's because it's for epilepsy. Oh my gosh, Penny Positive. Yes, I know that actually. I have that on my prayer list. Yep, and I have been praying for her. Alicia, I hope we can keep in touch. Please take care, hon. Kisses for little Bella. Thank you, sugar. Ricky's son has that shock spray. Does it really stop it within like 2 minutes when it starts? Because that would be awesome. All right, guys. So I think everyone knows why I've chose to, you know, go away for a while, take a break, take a breather, say goodbye for, you know, however long that it takes. And hopefully the rumor mill won't start running with all these other reasons as to why I left when I just spent an hour and 34 minutes explaining it to you guys all. And if it does, it does. You know, trolls are gonna troll, gossipers are gonna gossip. You know what? My last wish for everybody here is, if you don't believe in God, you know, and you're not a prayer, whatever, ask the universe, whatever it is that makes you feel comfortable, and brings you some peace, you know, of mind, or whatever your belief is. Ask for discernment. Ask for some discernment, for some wisdom. Ask for your eyes to be opened. Ask for any bias to be lifted. Ask for your heart to be open from any stone or, you know, coldness or ice that's around it over someone else. Remember that sometimes there is some truth that comes out of evil, and sometimes there's lies that come out of good, you know? Like, you need that discernment, because not everything is always so black and white all the time, you know? I love you too, Penny Positive. Hey, Jimmy. Did I miss Jimmy come in? I will be praying for you, and much love, Alicia. You have always been a good friend. Love you, Jimmy. Jackie, keep staying close to God. He will continue to give you strength to get you through it all, Alicia. Amen, Jackie, I will. Take care of you too, Alicia. I'm going to try. Curiosity. I'm going to try. I am blessed, though. I have to say that my sons, well, my daughter too, my daughter surprises me with little gifts here and there. Not long ago, she took me for a facial. But my sons, they are mama's boys, and they really, sometimes I'll be up working and I've been going at it for hours, and my vision's starting to get blurry because I've been staring at the screen too long, building a website for a client or writing articles for a magazine or something. And my sons will call me to come down, and they've baked me a little cake or something and made me a cup of tea, and they'll have my robe sitting there for me and a letter that they wrote to me about how much they love me. I mean, my boys are awesome. Thank you.com. Thank you, Beth. Sandy says, learn to recognize darkness when you see it and learn how it's affecting you. You being everyone. Yes, for sure. Sarah, maybe eventually I'll come back and update all everybody on what's going on with the hubby and the baby, and and just give everybody an update on where we're at. I mean, like I said, there's so many of you that I love and I care about, and I don't want to just be like, bye y'all, have a good life. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm just saying I'm not taking part in any drama stuff, and I just won't be watching any of it. Prayers, Leisha. The children are a true blessing. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Kia. All right, guys. I hope you all have a great night. Love you guys. You're going to be in my prayers. My email, aliciaturner81@gmail.com, for anybody who wants to send me things for a prayer list. And I'll definitely be praying for you guys. Ricky says, love most of you all. Yes. Penny Positive, I pray, oh, please find that baby and put all this madness to a stop. Bring some peace to all of us. I mean, and, and to her. Honesty. My goodness, I love Alicia. I cannot believe I get timed out here too for making a point and defending her too after knowing how her and others got hurt. Try to do the right things and it gets blocked. I did not know that you were blocked. I'm so sorry that happened. Alicia, you are blessed. Sadly, your light for truth has been dimmed. Stay happy. Much love always. Will contact you. Kiss Bella and prayers for your happy. Thank you, Dark to Light. Yep. All right, you guys have a good night. I'm wishing everybody the best. Like I said, I'm not completely out of, you can always email me if something serious, important. Love you, Jimmy. Love you, Jimbo. Chaotic, Sarah. There's so many of you guys. You'll know where to find me if you need me for anything that's of importance and that's drama-free. Good night, all. Mwah. God bless.